Each morning, I look in the mirror and I tell myself one thing to boost my confidence. Don't wait on your weight to live the life you want. My name is CeCe Olisa. I co-founded the CurvyCon, a plus-size fashion convention during New York Fashion Week. I'm also a lifestyle influencer, which basically means I share my life with thousands of people on the internet. Growing up, I always wanted to be on stage. Dance, theater, singing. I loved it all. It takes confidence to go out on stage and perform, but luckily for me, there was no shortage of love and validation in my family. I like to think of confidence as a big red balloon that can either soar or deflate. My parents had the challenge of raising 3 daughters and making sure that each of our confidence balloons was sky high and full. They did a great job. Baby CeCe had a soaring confidence balloon until around elementary school. I was the only Nigerian girl in my class, but that wasn't a problem. I was significantly taller than the other girls, and instead of long straight hair, I had big kinky natural hair, but those things weren't a problem either. The problem was my body. According to the National Report on Self-Esteem, 98% of girls feel that there is an immense pressure from external sources to look a certain way. In elementary school, a teacher pulled my mom aside to let her know that while I was a good dancer, I would not be allowed in our school's elite dance group because I didn't have a dancer's body. For the first time, my confidence balloon lost a little bit of air. I went to a performing arts high school with famous alumni like 6-time Tony Award winner Audra McDonald. My junior year, a teacher told me privately that while I had a great audition for the school musical, he just couldn't give me the part I wanted. Why? Well, he said, there would be that scene where you'd have to admit that you made love in the back of a car, and it's simply unrealistic that someone of your size would fit in the back of a car. As I listened to a teacher that I respected tell me that my body was the reason he was choosing to ignore my talent, my face got hot with embarrassment. A knot formed in the pit of my stomach. I thanked him for his feedback and I rushed out of his classroom just as tears began to fall down my face. I wanted to quit. But there's an expression amongst us Nigerians, Naija no de carry last, which in my family meant if you have a goal, you don't quit. You keep working until you achieve it. My senior year, my classmates voted me most talented. My teachers couldn't see past my body, but my classmates could. And that gave me the tiny burst of air that my confidence balloon needed to move forward. So after high school, I moved to New York City, I graduated with a degree in theater, and I became a working actor doing shows around the country. Then I decided that I wanted to land a role on Broadway, and my weight became an issue once again. In final audition after final audition, I would have casting directors say, CeCe, gosh, we love your talent, but your weight. Did I diet? Sure. I could get smaller, but I could never get skinny. By the end of an entire year of rejection by casting directors, my confidence balloon was lying dead and lifeless on the floor. When I confided in the people I love most, that I thought that I would never have the career I wanted, the relationship I wanted, the life I wanted, unless I was skinny, their response was to hug me and tell me that I was beautiful, but that did nothing to revive my confidence. My parents couldn't revive my confidence for me, and neither could my friends. This time, I'd have to do it myself. So, when faced with the challenge of boosting my own confidence so that I could do what I loved on stage, I just quit. I stopped auditioning. I got a corporate job to pay the bills. I developed an eating disorder. I was miserable. And in an effort to stay creative and feel less alone, I got on the internet and started sharing my stories of what it was like to be an awkward plus-size girl in New York City. Forbes.com says that confidence is the outcome of the thoughts that we think and the actions we take. As my Instagram and YouTube audience gained a following, I went through a process that overhauled and rebuilt my self-confidence. Through that process, I learned 4 key steps to building self-confidence. I'd like to share those with you today. Sound good? Step 1, identify your perceived obstacle. Step 2, imagine what your life would look like if your obstacle disappeared. Step 3, address your perceived obstacle. Step 4, choose to live the life you imagine today. That was a lot to take in, right? All right, let's break it down. Step 1, identify your perceived obstacle. So for me, I thought that my confidence would greatly improve if I lost a bunch of weight. That may not be the thing for you, and that is okay. In order to identify what your perceived obstacle, I invite you to finish this sentence. My life would be perfect if... So what is it? What is that thing that you are using as an excuse to opt out of the life that you really want? Now comes the fun part. Step 2, imagine what your life would look like if that obstacle disappeared. According to a Harvard psychology study, the brain actually can't differentiate between a real memory and an imagined one. This is why visualization is so important. I'll give you an example. While you think about what your life would look like if your obstacle was gone. So I used to fantasize about myself as a skinny person. I've never been skinny in my life, but I was obsessed with skinny CeCe and the life that she would live. In my head, skinny CeCe would travel the world. Skinny CeCe would wear what she wanted, not what would cover her up the most. She would get up in the morning and dress without shame. Skinny CeCe would do what I consider the most vulnerable act I could think of. Skinny CeCe would put a full body photo on her dating profile app. Now it's your turn. What does your life look like without your perceived obstacle? Are you sitting in a big corner office after a promotion? Are you boarding the plane to your dream vacation? While you think about that, let's move on to step 3. Address your perceived obstacle. Now, I am a firm believer in hiring therapists and coaches when it's time to level up. So when it was my turn to level up, I hired my first ever therapist, and I immersed myself into the world of online and body positivity. I decided, in order to address my perceived obstacle, I needed to remove skinny as a goal altogether. Now, before you say that I'm promoting obesity, I need you to hear me out for just a second. I was a 10-pound baby. So maybe, just maybe, I came into this world as a big girl, and it just is what it is. Yes, we live in a world that values the scale over the soul, that values youth over wellness, that values looking good over feeling good. But in a world like that, I chose to go against the grain. I chose to stand up for myself and embrace health as a practice, not a pant size. I decided that healthy living as a daily practice was my goal, and consistency was my measure of success. How will you address your perceived obstacle? Will you research scholarships while you figure out how to get into your dream school? Will you reach out to a therapist about past traumas that are bothering you? I'm going to be really candid here. Step 3 can take a long time to figure out. So while we work on step 3, we're going to get started on step 4 at the very same time. Step 4, choose to live the life you imagined today. What you're probably thinking is, CeCe, how can I live the life I imagine when I still have my obstacle, right? I can't do that. It's not true. You don't have to wait on your perceived obstacle, just like I didn't have to wait on my weight. Remember my skinny CeCe imaginary life? What did skinny CeCe do? Skinny CeCe traveled the world. Here I am, traveling the world. I'm not skinny. Skinny CeCe wore what she wanted. Here I am, wearing what I want. And I'm not skinny. Skinny CeCe put a full body photo on her dating profile app. Here I am, full body photo, dating app, not skinny. How will you choose to live the life you want right now? Nothing lights me up more than when I see people shouting me out on Instagram and sharing their stories of self-confidence. As you embark on your journey of self-confidence, I'd like to remind you of one thing. I started my journey because of my desire to stand on stage and do what I want. So I identified my perceived obstacle. I imagined what my life would look like if that obstacle disappeared. I made a plan to address my perceived obstacle, and then I chose to start living the life I imagined right away. And guess what? Here I am, standing before you, doing what I love on stage. Thank you.
All right. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining Conversations with Sisters. I am Sheola Benta, along with Mother Priyah Bhagat and Mother Lydia Evans. Ayo Keisha Smith, excuse me, sis, is traveling, so she will join us next week, Monday. So today's topic is the currency of confidence. So that was a pretty good video, I think. So who would like to start us off and open with what they took away from building your confidence? And why is confidence important? First, why is confidence important, and your unpacking of what you just heard or experienced?
Okay. I will go first. Well, again, as she defined confidence, is the thoughts you perceive or put in yourself and the actions you take behind those thoughts. And we all know it always starts with your mindset, how you feel about yourself, about anything. Um, I mean, whether it's again, how you feel about yourself, how you define yourself, and how you allow others to define you will define your confidence. I mean, with her, it was the weight issue. And since we're talking about the currency of confidence, she saw the weight issue as an obstacle. And I think, like most people, like a lot of people, we see money issues or currency flow as an obstacle because, again, the currency isn't flowing and it becomes an obstacle as far as what we want for ourselves, the things we want out of life, for ourselves. So it becomes an obstacle. So again, when that happens, most of us don't stop and address that issue. We continue feeding the problem, whether it's, hey, I don't have enough currency flowing in my life, but yet I'm still spending on things that I don't need. But you keep saying, hey, I don't have enough. And so it becomes an obstacle. Really, the obstacle is you, not addressing the obstacle. It's like the elephant in the room is you, really. So you're not addressing the obstacle. And like she said, my life would be perfect if. And I thought about that question for the longest time. And I guess it would be easy for me to say because we all about wealth building. My life would be perfect if I had more money. But when I say that to myself, knowing myself, I used to, and I wrote this down, I used to tell myself, I would say to myself, I will not let money define who I am. I will not let money define my lifestyle, whether I have, less or whether I have more. So therefore, that that perfect really didn't define my money situation. You understand that? Oh, if I had more money, life would be perfect. I knew it wouldn't be perfect if I had more money. Of course not. I probably could do more things that I would like to do. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, of course. So so yeah, that would be the obstacle. I guess for a lot of people, not having the money needed to buy more things. But like I say, you are the obstacle if you continue not to address the issue. Um, and again, that and the building of the confidence, is working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you not have enough money? Where did these issues begin at? Whether they begin at childhood, begin in childhood, whether they begin with you observing your parents dealing with money, and you
Mm-hmm.
took on that habit of spending, or that habit of, I'm just going to get by, with what I have. So those are the issues that you would have to work on to build that confidence if you want to get over that obstacle
Mm-hmm.
of not having money, or whatever that obstacle is in your life, whether it's weight, whether it's just not even liking yourself. You will have to go back to the root of that issue to build that confidence. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really just about talking to yourself, sitting down. Hey, let's talk about it. You know, so, so yeah.
Let's talk about it. Well, hold on. Let me give you one of these. Yeah, I'm gonna put on my red scarf. I had it on earlier today,
Oh
but
no.
you said
Okay.
we have to get to the
Now,
root.
It's
yes, because
beautiful.
that's the root chakra.
That's the root
Family
chakra.
issues, childhood issues.
Yes, indeed.
And it's
Yes,
You,
funny,
indeed.
red is my favorite color.
Oh, is it?
Red,
Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna wear it again tomorrow, just for us. This is also segment,
okay.
but we've been practicing in the root chakra since 4 a.m. So
Hmm.
I love, and Mother wasn't on that call, so I'm grateful for that share and reminding us it really begins at the root. So
what's funny is, when I went into my closet this morning, I pulled out a red dress.
did
I was
you?
going I was gonna put it on. I said, well, no, not today. And I put
Well, I just took off a multicolor red dress that I wore,
Aw,
it.
and
we're in alignment.
it really always, but the divine does that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
The energy flow, the divine does that anyway. I'd never had. I can't really say I ever had a confidence problem that lasted more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I myself, we called it in my family personal pity party.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You're not going to invite anybody because nobody's coming.
Mm.
So you give yourself the time it takes. And everything that you said about yourself that was pitiful, you need to be able to write something on the other side of that paper that negates that to start with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like Priya said, okay, money. If I just came in off a porch that I love with all the trees and the birds, basically came in because bugs were plentiful too.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of being a smorgasbord, so I just came inside. But that's the thing. If I had more money, I have always asked the divine to bless my pockets so that I could bless someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm one of those that I'm gonna carry you with me, kicking and screaming if I have to, but I'm gonna carry you with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do get fed up with people who I would say can't see the big picture
Mm-hmm.
or don't want to see the big picture, whichever it is, or see it and don't believe it. But I have never had that problem and say, get to the root of it. And I heard, just like everybody else probably heard, the parents said, money does not grow on trees. And I have to work extra hard for my money. Don't waste my food. Don't waste this. Shut the door. Stop slamming my door. Keep the windows closed because you're letting my air out. That kind of thing. That kind of lack. But I also had a parent, two parents, and one was like that, and the other one was like, there'll be more. Not
Mm.
good, but there'll be more.
There
You,
will be more.
yeah.
Hmm.
You want more, there will be more. You know,
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
kind of think my kids grew up with that too. They can never say that they were hungry. They can not that they couldn't go to the refrigerator and pick up something. They can
Mm.
say that this is a blessing. That's a blessing
Yes.
to be able to have enough and more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
What you do with more than enough, and that's what Priya was talking about with the mentality and where the root of it comes from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because my root said, you got more than enough, share.
Listen, my root said the same thing, right? Hold on. I think I showed you this before. I erased a little bit, but hold on. Says, hi, I'm Rosie, and money does grow on trees.
And it does.
It
Yeah,
does, right?
yeah.
So that is
I
definitely
like
a
Rose.
reminder, right? Rosie, and she's so plentiful, and she's chill too. She just watches things happen. One of the things that I took away that I mean, the four bullet points that she gave were amazing, right? Identify the
Yeah.
perceived obstacle, imagine life if the perceived obstacle disappeared, address the perceived obstacle, and choose to live life that you desire today. That one I think is the best one, right?
Yeah.
That visualization, or
Mm.
even again doing the things that you ultimately would like to be doing when you reach that space. What I've learned about confidence, it's really a matter of doing what you say you're going to do, and it's the little things that you do daily. Now, I can say that I struggled with confidence in my past because I struggled with organization. You know, it's so much that you can do, but focusing in on a thing took a lot of work for me, which kind of played on the like, can I do this? Should I do all that talk that you do with yourself? Making sure that it's positive self-talk, or talk that you need to really have with yourself. But I am a proponent of living the life today that you desire for yourself in the future, because I did that and now I'm living it. Just I want to work from home comfortably, with a garden and a loving husband and mate, and it's happening. He's clearing his throat in the background because he's like, yeah, I'm part of the reasons her dreams come true. But that doing those those small deeds every day, in my opinion, is definitely a confidence builder, and sticking to what you say you're going to do for yourself, which has been a challenge for me too, because I'll drift off real quick and phone ring rather than it being on do not disturb. I'll leave it open, and now doing things that you didn't set out to do. But I love the fact that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a real memory or a imagined one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty amazing in and of itself. I'm also a proponent of therapy.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of us have made the decision that therapy is taboo, but totally necessary when you're thinking about um, hundreds of years of, for a lot of us, unhealed trauma, which can't, if you heard a negative thing or if someone said something negative to you, it takes 7 to 11 compliments to combat that one. And like she said, she came from a loving environment, which was great because she had a strong foundation, so she wasn't beat down from the very beginning. But some people don't have that loving environment where your parents are feeding you with support. And I'm grateful to my mother. Although a young mother, she definitely tried her best with making me aware that I was worthy and pretty and smart and all the things. So shout out to the parents who are making those self-care deposits into their children early.
Yes.
Yes, yes, indeed. So what would you say would be, let's see, one thing that if someone had to choose of the four, now I know the four is the whole package, what would you say would be one of the most important, or one that you would tackle first? Identify, imagine life without the obstacle, address the perceived obstacle, or living the life that you see in the future right now? which one would you do first?
It would have to be number 4 because I believe I've been living that way.
Yeah.
It would have to be number 4 because if I guess if I had an obstacle, I always say, well, how can I turn it around? I always say, what do I have now that I can utilize? What is here now that I can utilize? And again, what is your perception of abundance? What's your perception of abundance? Now, if we truly believe that, as they say, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, then the earth is full.
Right.
I'm full.
Right.
So you just have to tap into that fullness. We have to tap into that fullness and say, hey, it's here. It's here. I have to look beyond this obstacle, that isn't allowing me to see that fullness. Just move it out the way. It's here already.
It's here already.
I don't, it's here already. But again,
the present is the future and the past.
Yeah, but again, we allow obstacles. We allow our, how we feel about ourselves to not see that fullness. We allow, all those. Like you say, we have years and years in history of, of just negativity, and we have certain buttons maybe people can push, and all of a sudden, that balloon become a little bit, deflated.
It's real.
And we have to try to blow it back up, But again, we have the parents, and we surround ourselves with the friends that will, boost our confidence. And again, reading the books and all that stuff, and that will help us, those tools that will help us, live that life now.
Live that life now. What say you, Mama Lydia? Which one would you take on first?
Everything that Priyah said, because if you're going to identify the problem, okay, you already know you got a problem.
Right.
Say, you need more money. Okay, well, that's a given. What are you going to do with what you have now to help yourself get more? My father used to say, if all you need is money to get yourself out of something, you do not have a problem. Money can be obtained. And I listened to the brother last night. Ty Best cracks me up. He said, $33, you can sell bottles and cans and get $30. His age, because back in the day, we could take bottles to the store, and I believe we're like the same age. So remember those times, you could take bottles. We kids would go through the neighborhood and get everybody's bottles.
Right.
If you got their bottles, you go into the candy store. So would you get 5 cents, 2 cents, whatever it was? But if all your whole thought pattern is money is going to fix everything for you, you got a basic problem that nothing's going to fix, because you don't have the confidence in yourself. You don't have your root, your tap root, because if you dig up a plant, if you don't dig up the tap root, it's coming back. So if your is messed up, you messed up. That's just the whole thing. Right. So I used to ask my bro, what in the world is he talking about? Because if you needed $200 and you don't have $200, you might as well need $2 million. It was just that obvious to me as a child. And he said, if you got your health, you have family, you have a roof over your head, you are not hungry, money can be obtained.
But how about this? What about knowing that you are the money?
You're the currency. This is what
you are actually the currency.
You are the currency. As long as you got your health, your strength, and your good mind, you can stop your way out of things. You can stop and add to the situation instead of leaning more into the lack side of the situation.
Yes. Yes.
You can change. You can change your dynamic. When I was showing you ladies the 16-second breath, 16 seconds is all it takes for a thought pattern to go off into the universe. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. That 16 seconds is going to come back to bite you or to bliss you.
Yeah.
So thought pattern is
Mhm.
you're going to have to deal with that. When we were in the hospital with my friend today, it was like I said, it was like 4 of us in there, and everybody was doing Reiki and helping ground one another, and things like that for him. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, you can see his body relax.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are those that will say, "Yeah, the pain may has kicked in." No, he was agitated beyond, and
Mm-hmm.
in a great amount of pain.
Mm-hmm.
But and it takes a certain kind of person to be a receptor
Mm-hmm.
of that. He believes in the power of energy, and we're
Mm-hmm.
all energy, and money is energy. And I taught
Yeah.
myself money,
Yeah.
and I'm truly energy.
Mm-hmm. I have a affirmation part of that says, I am the money. I love the money. The money loves me. I'm attracted to the money.
Uh-huh.
And the money is attracted to me. So that all
Mhm.
just goes back to you and how you feel about yourself. Where is your worth? And, again, we have to make daily deposits into that account, because if one, and, you know, we learn, don't take anything personally. Someone may be having a not so great day and they pass that energy off to you. You may internalize it. Now it takes some extra loving and support to neutralize you, back to a balance again. So just really keeping in mind at the end of the day that anything you do, it really should be for you, making that self deposit for you so that you can go out and do, other things or whatever else that you were called to do.
Let's just say it this way: if you are the bank, as we say, if you are the energy, whatever you fill yourself with is going to go without and have a true manifestation. So
Mhm.
the money, see yourself where you would be, or you would think you would be, if you already had that amount of money. Now, me,
Mhm.
I'd probably still be sitting on these steps in my little shorts and just enjoying it, but I would have more time to do that.
Mhm. Well, time and money freedom, that's what this journey is
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
And we welcome everyone, to whether you're going to continue to use your job to finance your future or your freedom, or if I'm just ready to work from home. We definitely have some wonderful things in store. We're sticking and staying together and moving in lockstep so that we can get money as an issue, that currency out of the way, make sure that it is flowing. So before we close out, we are, just past hour. We try, as we've said in the Strive anyway, in the past, to keep these to 30 minutes, 35 maybe, just so that it's a little poor. But before we go into what is next, does anyone have any closing thoughts, remarks?
Yeah, if you truly believe that money is energy and you are energy, that both of you are connected, um, when you make that $33 a month membership,
That part.
you know that money is coming back to you.
Triple.
Hold
That
on, but
money,
mother, but we know that it's coming back to us.
yes, but I'm trying to make people understand, if you believe that money is just energy, your energy, that money is going to come back to you. I used to say, when I used to give money away, or I always say, oh, you coming back to me.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you coming back to me double,
Right.
triple.
Mm-hmm.
And it
And
did.
hey,
It did.
voila, voila.
And it will continue to, right? Because money is attracted to you, right? Just you're gonna come back because you attracted to all of this here,
Right. And for those people who, and I understand, for those people who can't make that $33, that says a lot about their confidence in themselves.
Girl, go sell a can or a
That's
bottle.
all. Their trust in themselves. That speaks about them. So they have to build that confidence, and they have to build that trust, and they have to build that relationship to money
Mm-hmm.
in order to, hey, if I lose it, if I give it away, hey, it's just going to flow right back to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to flow right back.
It's
And we
going to
have
flow
to
back.
believe that that's going to happen. We have to know, not even believe. We have to know that that's what's going to happen.
No,
Because
not going
Yeah.
to. Happening now.
it's happening now. We have
Yes,
to believe that it's happening now.
it's
Yeah, we
happening
have
now.
to
Yeah.
know that it's happening now.
And like Lydia said, it might take a while, but that money is out in the universe. It's
Right.
flowing. It's flowing. You know, you
It's
just have to have the
flowing.
patience to say, you know, wait for it to come, and it'll come when you really need it.
As
And in a wave. In
top,
a wave.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
open top says it all. Do you
Yes.
think of your blessings as coming into a funnel on top of your head? Now,
Wow.
you funnel part and the little hole dripping down into your head, you're gonna collect more.
Mm-hmm.
But drip down there. If you turn that thing upside down, you got this little teeny hole
Mm-hmm.
and a whole bunch of space. You look like you got a dunce cap on your head.
You say take your time with it.
So yeah, but you need to be open and ready
Mhm.
to receive your blessing and know that you got it covered. When you receive it, it's just gonna go right where it needs to go in your life.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you for joining in today's currency conversation with sisters. Directly after this, or at 5 o'clock, we will commune with Brother Eric Teray Muhammad on his Facebook page, the Welcome to the Wealth Transfer, which is happening right now. And then we'll see you again at 9 p.m. for a presentation to explore what it is that we do. If you would like to join us at 9 o'clock, there is a private password to get in. So if you're watching this on someone else's platform or someone here invited you, make sure you get back to that person for additional assistance. Until next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we say peace, light, and love. A few of the women of the Ra Turn to Your Royalty Warriors working at receiving residual income over receiving regular salaries. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.